Hi, my name is Jon Svitak with the Shannon Law Group, and we help individuals who've experienced injuries or side effects due to vaccines by pursuing compensation on their behalf through the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. So the most common injury that we see here at our firm is called SIRVA, which stands for shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. SIRVA happens when an intramuscular vaccine is placed either too high up on your shoulder or at the wrong angle or the wrong length of needle is used. And what happens is it causes inflammation of your shoulder joint. So either the tendons, the ligaments, or the bursa within your shoulder. Now this should produce pain in your shoulder within 2 days of your vaccine. And this is pain that's more severe than you would typically experience after an intramuscular vaccine. It's also associated with decreased strength in that shoulder or limited range of motion as well. Now, you're probably wondering, what can I do? How do I treat this particular injury? And what we would recommend is going to see a doctor as soon as possible, so that not only can you report your injury to them, but also get the treatment that you might need. And a lot of our clients and our prospective clients ask me, how do I get my doctor to diagnose me with SIRVA? Is that going to be necessary for my case? And I have to correct them that SIRVA technically isn't a diagnosis. You're not going to walk out of there with records saying diagnosis SIRVA. More likely, the doctor may discuss the potential of the vaccine causing your injury, but the injury he's going to refer to will be either bursitis, frozen shoulder, adhesive capsulitis, impingement syndrome, tendinitis, any number of these diagnoses. And this really is what happens in a SIRVA case. It's no different than any other shoulder inflammation case. The only difference is that it was caused by a vaccine. If you're interested in learning more about these diagnoses, with more information about how they happen, what the symptoms are, you can find links in the description below with videos pertaining to each of these diagnoses. Depending on your diagnoses, your doctor is going to come up with a course of treatment for you. And for the majority of these shoulder injuries, the course of treatment is going to be the same. You're going to go through some physical exams, maybe an MRI to determine exactly what your diagnosis is. Once that's determined, then you'll probably go under a course of physical therapy to try and regain some of that strength, regain some of your range of motion. You may receive a cortisone shot injection, which will help reduce some of the inflammation in your shoulder joint. A lot of times you'll get a cortisone injection in conjunction with therapy, which hopefully that will allow you to make some better gains or improvements in physical therapy. You may also get some other anti-inflammatory medications or pain medications to help. And if all of these conservative treatments fail and you're still having symptoms months later, the last resort would be surgery. So if you've experienced a SIRVA injury you think you might have, you're probably wondering, do I have any legal recourse? Do I have any options? And most people are unaware that there's a government program that will pay out compensation to anybody who's experienced a vaccine injury, including SIRVA. And this program is called the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. That's what we do. We file petitions on behalf of our clients who've experienced vaccine injuries, and a lot of them have experienced a SIRVA injury. Now, before we can file a petition for them, we have to make sure that they're eligible for compensation, or they meet the requirements of the program. The first requirement is that you received a covered vaccine. There's only so many vaccines that are covered under this program, so that's the first thing we do is make sure that the one that you received is on the list. The second requirement is that you're within the statute of limitations to file a petition. So the statute of limitations starts with the onset of your symptoms. You have 3 years from that date to file a petition. For a SIRVA case, most likely that's going to be the day or day after that you received the vaccine. So that's when the clock starts. If you're within 3 years of that date, then you're still eligible to file a petition. The third requirement is called the severity requirement, and that is that your symptoms have to persist for at least 6 months in order to file a petition. This is true regardless of what vaccine injury you have. So as long as you can meet all 3 of those requirements, we can file a petition for you. So what happens after the petition is filed? Well, the petition is filed, and along with the petition, we have to file all the evidence necessary to prove that you have a SIRVA case. So that would be all your medical records, any affidavits or witness statements that we might want to include, and then we let the court know that we've filed everything, or at least all the evidence we think that is required to prove your SIRVA case. Once that happens, the government then steps in to review it. They'll review your petition, they'll review all of the medical records and any other evidence that we've filed in support of your case, and then they make a determination. They're either going to concede that you have a SIRVA injury, or they're going to dispute it for some reason. If it's disputed, then there's a judge there, and the judge is there to resolve any disputes. Obviously, as an attorney, we advocate on behalf of our clients if there are any disputes. If they concede and they say, yes, you're entitled to compensation, we move into the next phase of the program, which is determining what your compensation is, or what your damages are. And in general, there's 3 different types of compensation. There's out-of-pocket medical expenses, so anything not covered by insurance, co-pays, payments toward a deductible, maybe a shoulder brace that you had to pay out of pocket for. That's all eligible for reimbursement. Any lost time from work, so lost income, lost wages, that's also eligible for repayment. And then there's pain and suffering damages as well. So a dollar amount or figure that's supposed to represent the severity of your pain and your symptoms and the impact that this has had on your life. Now, for all of these different kinds of compensation, we try to get the maximum amount that you're entitled to. And we do that through documentation and in the evidence that we supply, but also in trying to portray, for the court and for the government exactly the impact that this injury has on your life. Now, we highly recommend hiring an attorney to help you navigate the vaccine injury compensation program. The biggest reason is that it's free. You're never going to pay an attorney anything to file a petition, to advocate for you, and even if you're successful and you do get compensation, it doesn't work on a contingency fee basis, so you're not paying your attorney a percentage of your compensation. The attorney is paid by the government, by that government fund. So what they're getting paid, if they're getting paid, is a completely separate decision determination as to whether you're getting compensation. So that makes the decision a lot easier. The second reason is that this program can be difficult to navigate for a pro se petitioner or petitioner without an attorney. There's a lot of specific rules to this program, and it's helpful to have an attorney that knows their way around the program. Knows the special masters or the judges, knows some of the attorneys for the government, and it can make getting a resolution to your case a lot faster and a lot simpler. If you want to know more about the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, I wrote a book about it. It's called Vaccine Injuries: Understanding the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. If you want a free copy of this book, all you have to do is text VICP to 312-847-2428, and we'll ship a free copy to you.